Ben McKee and Patrick Brown, GoVols 24/7 here on campus with our No-Huddle following Tuesday of Chattanooga week. Season opener now 4 days away. Dante Stallworth, days away.
Jonathan Wade,
Dominic Wood-Anderson. Well, what's the difference there?
Cedric Tillman.
Cedric Tillman, of course, a significant pass catcher like Dominic Wood-Anderson. But today got to speak to Darrell Sims and William Inge and a couple of players as well. Amari Thomas, Arion Carter, Cooper Mays. We'll start with the running backs. Sounds like Darrell Sims is very confident that his group is healthy going into this opener after it was banged up throughout fall camp. And again, Josh Heupel reluctantly gave the information away last week, but Cam Seldon's going to get a chance to play in this game on Saturday.
Yeah, Coach Sims said he's going to be turned loose. So he's got a lot of guys that need to get work, and he said that they'll kind of determine it throughout the week and go in with the plan and see how the game goes from there. I do think it'll be interesting to see who's second in, who's third in, how much do they try to manage some guys while also trying to get them work. You've got to go win the game, so you've got to keep that in mind first and foremost. But you'd love to get Cam Seldon some hits. They've gotten him some hits in practice. I don't know that he's been unleashed maybe in practice 11-on-11, no red jersey, all that, but you know they still hit him in ball security drills and things like that. So he's got some contact, but it's tough to simulate live tackling when you're getting hit with different angles and things like that like you do in a game. So that'll be big for him. It'll be big for Dylan Sampson. And then they've got some guys that have continued to progress, that need experience, and we'll see how it all shakes out.
Yeah, at the linebacker position with Coach William Inge, two things stood out to me today. He mentioned that he wants to play in an ideal world 5 to 6 guys. He said he has done that historically for him as a linebackers coach. And he said that the tackling, like as a coach, you're always worried about that going into the opener. You can practice it as much as you want, but you never just really actually know how well your group is going to tackle until you get into a game. But he did admit that he felt like they tackled pretty well in the scrimmage settings in camp.
Yeah, for coaches, probably like you feel like you've done a good amount of tackling in preseason camp. Then you watch these week 0 games and you see Florida State miss a bunch of tackles, and you're probably thinking, crap, we do some more tackling in practice week. And they do. They probably don't do full-on tackling. Again, it's hard to simulate when you're in thud a lot. You're trying not to get guys hurt. Especially this time of year, you're trying to make sure guys are fresh. So that'll be interesting to see. And that's something, as you point out, Ben, the coaches and Inge has been around the block a few times. He knows that there's nerves because you never really know until you get in the game. And we'll have to see if his defense is able to make those plays at the point of attack like he wants to see.
Yeah, in terms of the players speaking, it was very much status quo. Cooper Mays, Amari Thomas, Arion Carter. I didn't think that they really shared anything that they hadn't shared earlier in camp. But sticking with that linebacker position, Arion Carter, Keenan Peely, Edwin Spillman. I mean, those three in particular seem to be continuing to generate a lot of buzz.
Yeah, going back to what you said about Inge wanting to play 5 or 6 guys, I don't think we'll see 5 or 6 guys. As much as he talked about how good Keenan Peely and Arion Carter, how good they think those guys can be. With what he said about Peely being able to run sideline to sideline, make plays as a big guy like a smaller guy. You know, he's 6'3", 240, but can make a lot of plays. Obviously, everybody's raved about Arion Carter and just the offseason he's had, but you want to have 5 or 6 guys ready, and maybe if those 5th and 6th guys are an Edwin Spillman or Jalen Smith, maybe you should get those guys on the field on special teams. But Spillman is a guy they're really excited about, and but he talked a lot about Peely and Carter, and I think those are going to be the first 2 guys you see at linebacker, and we'll see how they work in Jeremiah Thielander and Caleb Perry from there. So, but yeah, that's people should be excited about Arion Carter. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you want to see this weekend? Is it just as simple as you just want to see a clean game, kind of the tackling, the penalties, and just the operation of the offense, and even defensively? Is it just you just want to see a clean game this weekend?
Well, 1, you want to win.
Yes.
2, you want no injuries, or as few injuries as possible. You do want a clean game, Ben. You want to look like a team that's well prepared to go into the season. And that's something Inge said too. And I asked him about Chattanooga. Is like, this is a game that we're focusing on us a lot, and I think that's a message we've heard a lot from Josh Heupel in going into these games, which I know you love, these kind of games. But it's your focus on yourself. If you handle your business, you should be able to win this game comfortably, and that would be one of the other things that I think you would want to see if you're Tennessee is you win the game comfortably so you can get a lot of your roster in. There's a lot of players on this team that excited to put in a lot of work over the past 8 months. You want to give them a chance to get on the field, show what they can do, and kind of go from there as you kind of start out on, as Heupel calls it, a journey of the season.
Absolutely. Today's our final day on campus. We'll be back in action on campus on Saturday when Tennessee opens its season. Of course, we'll have plenty of coverage throughout the week leading up to the opener at GoVols247.com. Josh Heupel will still speak tomorrow twice, even if we're not in attendance on the SEC teleconference and at Vol Calls on location as well. So plenty of preview content coming your way throughout the week at GoVols247.com. He's Patrick Brown. I'm Ben McKee.